What up, yo? It's your boy. I'm back again. We're doing another diary insert on the YouTube channel. So it's your boy Mike, the middleman, and everybody that's rocking with the series, even if it's like one or two people, man. I appreciate you. I just want to let you know that. Do all the YouTube stuff so you can kind of get the rhythm of what we're getting down. I thought it was pretty interesting. Last week I talked about motivation, and I don't even know if that came off how I wanted it to. I just know at the time I was kind of feeling away just after doing, like I said, I think it was a Risk Takers podcast. So I just wanted to kind of touch on it and talk about it. And this time I was actually talking to my guy, Invincible, and we were talking about, I guess it's mental toughness, right? I think you hear that a lot of times, like in football or baseball, like they have a lot of mental toughness to get through what they have to get through, to endure what they have to endure. And sometimes I think what happens is mental toughness is actually probably one of an artist's best friends, right? Everybody is going to be subjected to your craft. A lot of times, people are not going to be what's the word? I guess they're not going to be like super friendly to you when they're going to expressing how they're taking in your music, right? And especially in this day and age. See, so we were actually kind of conversating a little bit, and I know this trolling thing where somebody can create an account on a social media. You can tell somebody in the most ruthless, most I guess aggressive way that you don't like their project, or you don't like their music, you don't like how they dress, whatever you can do. I guess this is the kind of the new thing, which I guess if you're born in that can be kind of a I guess it could be kind of a detriment, or even I guess reading that information or seeing kind of negative stuff all the time. I can see that being kind of a not a plus, right? So we were talking about mental toughness because with music. A lot of times in music, a lot of stuff is kind of generated or organized, marketed to make you like it. Even if you don't like it in the beginnings, there's certain keys and certain, practices that will put the music in a familiar setting for you so that you're constantly hearing it, and after a while, it grows on you. If you're an independent artist, and that's kind of what we've been talking about, independent, underground. I call myself underground. I know that's not, I guess PC, but I call myself an underground artist. I live in that. But if you're an underground artist, you're going to hear a lot of negative feedback, or somebody might give you false feedback, right? They don't want to maybe in the beginning, they don't want to hurt your feelings. If you know them personally, like, if you let somebody hear a song, they're going to listen to it, okay, that one time. And they might not get back to it, or they might, yeah, it's cool, but they might not revisit it again. But in the day and age it is now, with the social media, people can create an account and just tell you, hey, your music's trash. You kind of have to mentally be strong to really pursue and keep going through with that craft, right? Because 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to hear somebody that's going to listen to you, give it the once over and keep it pushing. You might hear somebody that listens to it a couple times. The people that really listen to it and really vibe to your music and really give you good feedback, that's always a plus, but that's probably not the majority. It's probably like, the minority. The majority of people can probably listen to it, tell you don't like it. You might hear people that you don't even know getting into your comments, I guess, and, telling you, hey, this is that, give up rapping, you're too old, you're too young, you're too this, your music's that, and you have to really mentally endure that. Especially for being an artist, right? Because we are capturing our feeling, our essence at the time. We are, at least for me, I know. For the most part, whatever the experience is, I'm trying to capture that in music. And I'm trying to, let you know through an artistic way of rapping over a beat, over a producer. So if somebody doesn't like it and they tell you, hey, I don't like your music, you have to be mentally tough, right? You got to be real mentally tough to brush it off and just keep creating. Not everybody's music is for everybody, or not every creation is for everything. You have to find your tribe, people that will vibe with you, people that do like it, and you have to create good music. I mean, I don't want think that if you're making music that if it's trash, it's really trash. If nobody's really vibing to it, but even still, that's subjective, right? Because you have to people like what they like. But the the artist standpoint of it, it was like, yo, I'm really creating this music, right? I'm really creating this album. I'm really creating this artwork. And you're laying everything on the line, right? You're putting everything out so everybody can see it. You're putting it on your Spotify's. You're putting it on your Facebook. You're shooting music videos. And all this is creativity that's coming along with it. For even one person to come along and be like, nah, I don't like it, can really derail a lot of stuff, right? I remember, and I'm not going to put the artist's name out there, but we actually shot a video for a person at one point, and I remember in the comments they were going in, saying all this crazy stuff. They even didn't pertain to the music per se. And from what I heard from one of my buddies, like, that person just stopped making music, like I said, because I guess mentally, who wants to endure that, right? If you're really putting a lot of energy and a lot of creativity in it, then somebody's like, no, it's whatever. I can see it persuading you to like, oh, I don't really know if I really want to do this or, put this out in public, because it is public for people to check this out. It's not like you're making a song and you're holding it in to listen to yourself. You might be able to do that, but if you're putting it out and people are critiquing it and giving you negative energy on that, I forgot who said, but artists are sensitive, right? What is that? I think it was Erykah Badu. I'm sensitive about my shit, right? So you're gonna get sensitive about it. Like, hey, man, I think what people don't understand is that you pour a lot of energy and a lot of self in this, in this. So it feels like somebody's almost personally attacking when they're saying they don't like the music, they don't like the vibe that you're giving off. And if you don't have the mental toughness to push through and say, hey, you know what? I recorded this song and it's not for this particular person. Or, hey, I recorded this song and 10 people out of 11 people hated it. It can affect your mood to not want to create anymore. I think, people that do music, even though there's a lot of people that do music, everybody makes the joke of it. Like I said that in many of videos before, they make, oh yeah, you make music. Everybody jokes at it, whatever. But it takes a lot of guts, right? It takes a lot of guts to create something, sing something, and know that so many people are doing it and seeing how it's going to be perceived or seeing how it's going to be received to people. And people are very vocal, they're very, what's the word I'm looking for? They're very adamant about, letting you know how they feel, or, hey, you might not be cut for this, or, people kind of getting that vibe. And if you let them get in your head, you're not going to create what you need to create. You're not going to be able to maneuver how you need to maneuver, or you might make one album and you might stop, or you might not see the type of reaction that you want, and you might start trying to copy somebody, and that's when I think it becomes a little less authentic. But I do have to admit, even myself, I'm not, saying I am, bulletproof in this scenario. I've played songs for people and, they might like it, they might not. Or I've gone to a show and everybody's like, one city will rock out with you. They'll go out there, everybody's dancing, they're vibing with you. And then the next city is looking at you like, man, what is this? So I can't say it doesn't affect me in a point where I'm like, oh, well, I'm good to go, whatever. I battle back and forth with trying to make music and not make music daily. I'm always kind of like, do I want to do it? Do I not want to do it? And then something will happen and I need to talk to the mic and somehow get it out, somehow, relay in an artistic way, because that's kind of how I communicate. But like I said, with that being such a personal experience for me, and if I do package it into a project, because I think when you're putting together music, either it's a single or it's an EP, you are essentially packaging it and putting it into a project so people can, kind of get close to knowing it, you get to know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get them acclimated to, the process of what's going on in the music. And then if it comes across as, people that don't like it, or it comes across as something that is not, I guess, successful in the eyes of certain people, maybe even if you're on a record label and they feel that the project that you put out is not the, best project that you did before, you got to be tough to get through that, man. And, as an artist, like I said, we're sensitive, man. We're trying to tell our story. It's tough. And then when somebody kicks it down, like, oh, okay, I don't really feel this or whatever, you take it personal, and then when you're going back in there, you're trying not to utilize that negative energy from the first encounter, or somebody that, didn't really vibe with the project. And, you're trying to do something better. Or you might try to overdo it. You know, you might say, hey, I'm gonna rewrite this over and over and over again until I feel like it's, something that other people might like, and it can get into your head. And if you, like I said, you're not mentally strong to just say, hey, this wasn't for everybody, or this might be for this group of people, I can see it actually causing a burden to somebody just mentally, like, subject, just in your head, because it's so much emotion that goes into music, right? There's so much to me. It's like, I think there's a lot of emotion, a lot of feeling that goes into the music. And, if it doesn't get perceived the right way and you get a negative outcome for it, does it make you want to do it again? Like, do you want to try again, swing again at the fences and see if you can create something else that might connect? Or do you want to say, hey, I'm going to fall back and I'm going to wait a little bit and we'll kind of see what happens at that point? Or maybe I'll do something else, or, maybe I'll, get in a different aspect or different things of either entertainment or just different businesses, different fields. For me, personally, I create, and I don't even create now for like mainstream or underground, or I just create music because a lot of times I have to talk about what I'm going through. So even the project I'm putting out today, I got a new project coming out called Still. I was actually, my Pro Tools started working just miraculously. I've been working with this Pro Tools issue for a long time. Finally got it up and running. But even with this project Still, originally it was just something to keep my mind fresh and going. I was still going through, of course. But I was going through some personal, just personal stuff in my life. And I wasn't telling anybody, and I still don't tell anybody. But the mic, you know what I mean? Like, let me grab this mic, let me get a beat, let me call some of my producer friends and say, hey, do you got something I can rhyme over? And then let me see what I talk about on this beat, because I don't really go into a song with the idea, and I guess starting off, I just listen to the beat, and whatever comes out, comes out. And during that time, it's kind of an emotional, up and down, all these different things are happening, mentally for me, I guess, for even being mentally tough, for me to toughen myself up mentally, I couldn't hold it all in. I had to talk to the microphone. So now I'm going to put this project Still out. People might come and say, hey, you know what, you're being too political, you're being too emotional, you're giving up too much this, I got too much black pride going on in this, or whatever they might say. But I'm mentally strong enough in my mind, because I put out music that people don't like, I put out music that people do like, that it doesn't really sway me one way or another. Like, and this project wasn't necessarily something that I was putting out to go ahead and hope that, I become rich and famous and whatever. It was just something to get my mind off of constantly obsessing over what I'm going through at the moment, right? I gotta stop saying I keep saying that, so I'm actually gonna put like a quarter thing up here. Every time I say that on the thing, I'm gonna drop a quarter in a bucket. Maybe we'll donate that to somebody, because that really annoys me when I go back and edit these. But what I just think it was important to talk on. I think, like I said, we're doing this from an artist's perspective, right? Just from my perspective. I don't know if there's other artists that go through that, comment and be like, hey, you know what? I do have an issue when somebody does this to my music, or I do have something that, kind of makes me go through a certain situation that makes me feel away. Now, normally when I deal with artists, I don't try to critique somebody in a frame of like, hey, I don't like your music. Like, I'll let somebody go like, you know what, I think the album might have been too long. It might have hit a little better if it was shorter, this amount of songs. Or I did like this song, or I did like this song. This song didn't get me into the right vibe. I'll try to give at least some positive energy or positive feedback on songs. And for the most part, I'm very open to listen to people's music, just because I like new music. And when we were on tour, we would throw people's CDs in, and we would just drive to the next city and listen to them. So my ear, I'm listening from a different mindset. Like, I'm not I'm not in the crowd and you hand me a CD and I put it in. I listened to it one time and I'm like, oh, I don't like it, because I didn't let it live a little bit. Sometimes I would come home and listen to them over and over and over again. And the songs I really did like, throw them on my phone and, vibe to them. So I'm trying to listen to it a different ear, especially everybody is different. There's a lot of different musicians out here. Even that's not even just rap. I'm just talking about in general. And like I always say, the ears can't deny good music, right? If the music's good, it's good. There's just nothing you can do about that. But to all my artists out here, man, just stay mentally strong, man. Don't let the trolls, I guess that's what it is. Don't let people troll you in the comments and make you think that you're not doing what is beneficial for you as an artist. I think it is very important to, create and put out your message or what you want to say, even if positive, negative, whatever you feel like you want to put out. I think it's very important to have a voice. And if you have music by your side that you like to vibe to, by all means, don't let somebody listen to it and then say, hey, I'm not feeling this, and then get you out of your creative spirit or creative mind or make you stop creating. Because even if that song or that, project doesn't necessarily hit, that doesn't mean that there's not one down the road that doesn't connect with somebody, right? And if you let a previous project come up and you're not feeling it, or somebody's not feeling it, and then you let them get you out of your recording or your writing inspiration, or you don't pursue forward, then maybe the one that everybody is going nuts over doesn't get made or doesn't get produced, doesn't get created, because you let somebody that the music wasn't for, talk you out of what you're doing. But I just thought it was kind of interesting. I know athletes, all athletes, they have this mental toughness, and, CEOs of businesses, they got a mental toughness about them, whatever. But I don't hear a lot of people talk about the music artists, because out of all those, maybe besides athletes, I think a music artist has to have the most mental toughness out of all the genres or whatever. And I mean, they might even be above athletes, because at least on an athlete, you're part of a team unless you're like a boxer or you maybe like a one-on-one type of sport. But even then, you can, some of the managers take a little bit of that, some of, training, or you can kind of maneuver, okay, this could have what happened during this process. But when you're an artist, when you put out music and it doesn't hit right, or say 5 people start getting on the I don't like it, and then once it starts to kind of snowball, because sometimes that'll happen too. Sometimes people will not like something just because they heard something somebody else say, oh, I didn't like it. And then it's already fixed in their head that they didn't like it. So they start spewing, and then it gets a snowball effect of everybody going, oh, it was this, it was that. They start making an opinion before really getting a chance to go through and listen to it. I mean, don't let people get into your head like that, man. We're artists, you know what I'm saying? We're weird and creative and, introverted, outroverted. I'm an introvert. I don't really get around too many people, whatever. When I do, I've gotten out of that a little bit, but we're artists for a reason, right? It's not easy being an artist. There's a reason why they call it a starving artist. There's a reason why so many people, and I've said, I don't know if I said this on camera, but I said before, I think there's a whole whole bunch of people in corporate America, corporate everywhere, that are very talented artists that are doing regular 9-to-5 jobs, because an artist does not get recognition like that. They don't get recognition. Like when I was going to school, you weren't getting trained to be an artist. You're getting trained to do some sort of, of course, science and business, mathematics, these different jobs, different trades, whatever, but they don't push being an artist, unless you go to an art school that maybe specializes in that. But in regular school, they're not pushing that. There's not something going, hey, you should be an artist because, you think you should create, or you should be a filmmaker. You should be, a cinematographer. That's stuff that is set up for certain careers and arts, art schools. But in the main thing, they teach you how to be a worker somewhere at a corporate America. So I know there's a lot of talented people that have a lot of talent in art that they're putting together, and maybe at some point in time somebody told them something and they weren't mentally tough to keep pursuing it. But that mental toughness as an artist is very necessary, especially because once you put it public, it's basically going to be critiqued by everyone on the planet, right? Everybody's going to be able to see, especially now. When I was growing up, a little different. People tell you to the face they didn't like it. I have a thicker skin than most people. People talk about you for having, hey, look, he's got the Payless shoes on. Ah, look at his shirt. He wore that yesterday. Like, they will just drag you all up and down for whatever. So you become, I guess, immune to it, or you become a little desensitized to it. But, if you grow up in this era where random people can just comment and say whatever they want to say to you in a comment, you don't have to whatever, and it affects you, I can see how that could be a problem. But mental toughness, man. My artists, stay strong in mind. You know what I'm saying? Keep speaking your mind. Keep saying your truth, your piece. Don't let anybody sway. Even if, like, you know, the big joke, everybody's a rapper, everybody's a singer, everybody wants to be an actress or actor, man. You fuck those people, man. You know what I'm saying? Do what makes you feel good. Keep creating. You never know what project is going to be that one that gets everybody, you know, paying attention to you. So I'm keeping this a little short. I'm trying to keep them under 20 minutes, even though that's still a little long. I like to do about 10, but I haven't found a good cutoff at 10. It's your boy, Mike the Middleman. Stay strong in mind. Keep creating, my people. Another episode of whatever this is, some type of diary. I don't, you know, I know we're in like episode 7 or 8. I haven't really named it. Haven't came with a brand name on it yet. But yo, we just talking our underground hip hop artists talk, man. All right. It's your boy. I'm getting up out of here. Peace.
You remember back in the days, parents kicked you out to go and play. Drinking landfill water at the hose, trying not to tear up your school clothes. It might come to blows, you come home with a busted nose. All your moms wants to know you served them fist right. If not, she marched right back down to fight. Where if you was the money maker, the homie took the bid. You split your cash on the side, you looked out for his kid. Kept them foul niggas off his chick. I never got hit by everybody to switch on the block. For you damn sure stories about bringing it back for my generation. Where if you was hustling for a bite to eat or feeding the block from them fiends with the taxes on the streets. Riding your bike with $5 in your sock, going down the wrong street praying not to get shot. Where your parents took you to church, I was a bad boy looking at the quiet girl skirt. When you thought that the world still for good, and the propaganda and fear kept the masses in check, the glue that makes society work. Before you had to hear straight from the horse's mouth, after technology put the negative comments and speech right in everyone's hands reach. I'm from the old school.